Alright, what up, people? It's your boy Chig from Guna Eagle Eye, coming to you again with a brand new video. This time it is a preview. A preview this time for Arsenal versus Crystal Palace. Been a while since I've done a preview. Wasn't particularly happy with the views I was getting for the preview. I noticed that across the board, really, YouTubers don't really get a lot of views for previews. I guess because you guys are not that interested in the preview per se, unless there's someone else on there. But I'll give them a try for a little while. If I notice I'm still not liking the views, I'll give up on them completely. But anyway, I digress. Let's talk about Arsenal versus Palace. Now, obviously, this is a game which it's never a boring game. There's always some sort of goals in the game. Palace do have a habit of being a bit of a dangerous side for us in terms of, you know, they always cause us problems whenever we play these games. We don't tend to lose to them that often, but we don't tend to beat them as often as you might think as well. And obviously their danger man is Wilfried Zaha. Listen, as much reservations as people have about Wilfried Zaha, the guy constantly produces. In fact, if there are several teams that Wilfried Zaha gets up for, you best believe Arsenal, the team he's supported since a kid, is one of those teams he gets up for. And obviously, every single time we play them, there's always going to be the Pepe Wilfried discussion, and did we make the right decision? People have asked me this before. People have asked me this quite recently, you know. I've always been quite a big proponent of Pepe. Some of you guys know, some of you guys don't. I've rated Pepe really from the get-go. Someone that I was very keen on us buying from the very start. And I must admit, how I see Pepe's progression is I've not been as disappointed as some of you guys have been. But I must accept that I expected him to be more of a mainstay in the team. So I do think that, yes, whilst I don't think he's been as consistent, I also don't think he has been consistently played. So it's almost a detrimental cycle. It's like, on the one hand, I'm expecting this guy to pull up trees, but if I don't put him in the woods, how am I expecting him to get trees? Do you know what I mean? And that's where I'm perhaps not as harsh as say some of you guys, where I know some of you guys have completely written him off. And I just like to see him play, especially when he plays well. When he plays well, he deserves to keep his place. And at the moment, when he plays well, he gets immediately dropped because that just seems to be the Mikel Arteta mantra. If you play well, you're immediately dropped. So yeah, it's a difficult one, the Pepe one. I will always stop short at saying he's a flop. I just like dribblers. I get it. For me, but I'm also one of those people who don't think that Jorginho is as shit as some of you guys make out. Do you know what I mean? I get it. Dribblers like that are very frustrating, especially African dribblers. They are and Africans are full of dribblers. And they are very frustrating because we are. I say we like I'm a winger. We are. We're very in our football. We're very adventurous. We like to take on players. It's part of the mantra. Gosh, you should see my dad. My dad, when he watches any kind of football, especially growing up, the two things that he always wanted us to want, especially Nigeria, to do as part of their game. Keep the ball on the ground, take on the man. Hold on to the ball. Now you got the ball. Take on them. Take on the man. Take on the man because you got pace now. Take on the man. And that was always the way he kind of tried to describe how he wanted football to be played. He wanted to be played like almost in that Venezuela way, that kind of express yourself, take on that player, you know? And I think because of that, sometimes it's percentages. Sometimes you are going to get a player that's going to be able to get past players very easily. Like, as Bambo says in the chat, your JJ Okochas. JJ Okocha, it was effortless. Effortless. My favorite non-Arsenal player ever. JJ Okocha. Right? This was a guy who, it's just there are certain players that had it. Your Messis, your Ronaldos, your Ronaldinhos, people that just had that, no matter what they tried, it would come off. Your Dennis's, quite frankly, no matter what they tried, it would just come off. JJ was exactly the same. Even as an African, as a central midfielder, it was very unusual because he had that range of pass as well, which people forget. My man was an excellent passer of the ball, but what he was first and foremost was he could just dribble. He could just have that ball, almost in that Jack Wilshere type of style. That Jack Wilshere style, just getting the ball from deep and running at you. And good luck to you if you can bring him down. Just that sort of player. And then you had others that just weren't able to recreate that. Like certain times, there'll be times where you just see certain players not able to match that effort, not able to go as far as all of that. And I don't know. It's difficult because I could see what Pepe tries to do on a week by week basis. I could see it. Sometimes it's very frustrating because if I'm a defender, I don't have a left foot to save my life, right? But if I'm a defender and I'm on that left hand side of the centre backs, I know this motherfucker's coming at me at some point. So I'm going to chase him down the wing. I'm going to say, come then, let's go. Let's see if you can beat me. Because we both know you're coming this side. And that's the part of his game that I'd like to see him get better in. And actually, for me, that's why I think centrally, he'd be so good. I think he'd be so good potentially as a striker. I think he'd be so good as a number 10 because you don't know where he's going to go. First of all, he needs the ball ahead of him. Second of all, he's now central. So he can go either fucking way and try and make something happen. The problem is he's not good enough finisher to be a striker. So you have to rule that out. He doesn't have the strength to be a striker. So you have to rule that out. But I could see the sense in saying, okay, well, he's got pace and he can dribble. Maybe try him as a striker. Maybe try him as a number 10. And those are the sort of things if I was a manager, I would be doing right now with Pepe. Because listen, regardless of what you want to sit here and say, oh, we wasted 72 million. Nah, this shit. Nah. Just find a solution, for fuck's sake. We invested so much money in this kid. Find a solution. At least between now and the end of the year, so that come the end of the year, because I think he signed a 4-year deal. So come the end of the year, when he has 2 years left, you can then make an informed decision. You tried everything possible to get the best out of him. It has not worked. Let's sell him. That's what I would personally like us to do. But hey ho, it is what it is. Please do slap a like on this video. I know I'm doing this late, but let's get as many people noticing this as possible. Big up to the Palace fan, Diego, coming through with a generous donation. Thank you, my guy. Big up, Chig. 3 players that worry me from Arsenal: Saka, Tierney, and Pepe. It's not going to snow, so my prediction is, he fancies Palace with a sneaky 1-0 win, and that, to be honest, is pretty indicative. And I guess this is where you have to move on to the team as a whole, because I know a lot of Palace fans that are sneakily fancying. They fancy it tomorrow, and it's not just banter. And I know a few Palace fans. I know a few Palace fans at work that fancy it. That they fancy it. They feel like they feel like they're playing Arsenal of 3 weeks ago, and they can slap up Arsenal 3 weeks ago. Keep in mind, Arsenal don't normally find this game particularly easy, whether it's at home or away. Yes, we have a decent record, but if you've ever watched an Arsenal versus Palace game, it was always tight. It was always tight. We never really slap them up per se. And even when it suggests that we have, trust me, the game is a lot closer than the scoreline suggests. It's never comfortable. I never enjoy Arsenal versus Palace games. I'll be real with you. I never enjoy them. And also, you just got to brace yourself with the Zaha thing, because suppose that starts off with the very first point I was making, where Zaha. People ask me, do you think that Zaha would have made a bit bigger impact than Pepe? 100%. 100%. If you said to me, let me just say this straight to you. If you said to me he would have made the more immediate impact at Arsenal, I would have said Wilfried Zaha. 100%. He would have been buzzing about the fact that, first of all, he got his dream move to Arsenal. Second of all, he has Premier League experience. Third of all, he is an Emre type of player through and through. That counter attack, he is. I've said it from day one. I don't particularly rate Wilfried Zaha, but the one thing that I will say for that kid, in a counter attack situation, he's one of the best players you can have in your team. One of the very best. Because when he's on it, you try to get the ball off him. When he's on this team, try to get the ball off him. My thing is this. If you said to me, not necessarily 72 million, because I think we overpaid for Pepe, but if you said to me, all right, Chris, you can spend 40 million on a long-term investment in Wilfried Zaha or Nicolas Pepe, even knowing what I know now, I would have gone with Pepe. Even knowing what I know now. Because also, keep in mind, it'd be me controlling it. So first of all, I'd be playing Pepe more often. I'd be experimenting with Pepe more often. I try and get into the psyche of Pepe and see where he likes playing and what sort of football he likes. And, I would have studied this motherfucker, especially if I'm making such an investment in him. I would have played the Pepe thing completely differently. Plus, he's younger. Because let's face it, if it don't work out, then you have a challenge of selling a 29-year-old versus selling a 25-year-old. Because people forget. I think that, yes, while Wilfried Zaha would make the bigger impact, let's say in 18 months' time, Wilfried Zaha does his little sulking bullshit, which he normally, that's the part of him that kind of puts me off him. That kind of prima donna type sulking bullshit where nothing really comes off, and he's just sulking and he's a bit of a waste of a time because he always goes through that sort of period, right? And it's in 18 months' time. What do you then do? And you're facing a serious prospect of potentially selling him. Keep in mind, he turns 29 in November. I've already checked this. So let's say, all right, next November. So, all right, so you're selling potentially a 28 to 29-year-old in the summer transfer window. Sorry, I still have my 2020 mindset on, right? It's going to be long. I know it's going to be long. It's going to be long. So, for me, yes, like I said, I think Zaha makes the better impact. But I do think that Pepe is the more talented player. Pepe still has better numbers than Zaha even this season. But I know he did last season. But to be honest, supposedly people keep telling me Zaha has been amazing this season. So I don't want to put my balls on the line quite yet for that. But I just think for me personally, Pepe is the better long-term investment. if you're going to experiment with him, if you're going to give him a chance. Because for all those people saying that Pepe's a flop, Pepe's a flop, like I say, how do you expect him to pull up trees if you don't put him in the forest? Very simple. Very simple. And then also for people saying, "Oh, we'll forget numbers." Well, numbers kind of matter, mate. And actually, my eye test tells me the same thing. I see what you know. Well, I saw lots of people saying in the last game, Pepe was awful, right? And he wasn't great in the last game. But actually, Pepe was the one person who constantly kept getting on the ball, trying to take a chance, getting on the ball, trying to take the man on. In that awful fucking game, that game which was a struggle to keep your eyes open on, he was the one that was trying to push, at least. So I don't know. It's just personally my view. But like I say, for some reason it always turns into this Pepe versus Zaha debate. And considering when you see my starting lineup, let me wonder what the fuck I've been talking about. I just would like to see Pepe in a different spot. That's just my personal opinion. But you move on to Palace. Like I said earlier, a lot of friends of mine, a lot of work colleagues of mine, they fancied us. So I think Arsenal need to be switched on. We need to give Zaha the respect that I think he deserves, particularly if he's on form. We know he gets up for Arsenal. You know, he gets up for certain teams, United, Arsenal. He gets up for us. So we need to make sure that we pay him that appropriate respect. But having said that, we also need to implement our game. We need to hope that first and foremost, our captain shows the fuck up. I'm hoping that because he scored an open goal in the last game, with Saka basically put at his feet, that hopefully he'll be switched on and ready to go. You know, I'm hoping that, Saka continues his form. I'm hoping that Pepe is, sorry, I'm hoping Partey is fit because I think we need that presence in the central midfield. I'm hoping for a lot of things in that game. Nevertheless, I'm going to talk you through my starting lineup. I'm going to explain why I made certain decisions, and then you guys let me know whether you think I'm balmy or not. So let me show you my starting 11 without further ado. I'm only human, that's for all. Only human. Right. There you go. There's my starting lineup. Let's talk through it. Hopefully you guys can see that. Let me full screen it because you guys don't need to see my mug. So my starting lineup is I've got Leno at the back because there ain't no fucking way I'd rather play than see Runnison play. Yes, I did hear the news about Runnison. I did see what Arteta said about Runnison. I mean, that's as close as you're gonna get to a manager admitting that they made him a fucking mistake. Like, well, no fucking shit. You are better off promoting one of those youngsters. Like, I've noticed that we promoted that Nigerian guy to number 3. Nigeria, we repping everywhere in that Arsenal team, baby. We repping everywhere. So I think his name's Arthur Owokano. I can't remember his second name. Owokano. I know his first name's Arthur anyway. Very good. Tall as well. About 6'5", 6'6". Very young though, he's like 19, 20 years old. But he's supposed to be very, very good. So keep an eye out for him. So he's now a new number 3. Supposedly, we're looking for a new number 2, which is supposed to be Tom Heaton. I will get into a rant about that at a later date. I've got a lot to say about that. But yes, Tom Heaton. But yes, we're looking for a new number 2. But anyway, until we find that new number 2, there's the number 1, Bert Leno. On the right back, we're going with Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Not only because I think that Bellerin is fucking useless. The idea of Bellerin against Wilfred fucking Zaha gives me the chillies. And I think defensively, regardless of whether you think Anthony Maitland-Niles is overrated or not, I think you would even accept he'll deal with that challenge better than Hector Bellerin. I think he'll be a lot more tougher to beat. I think he'll be a lot more stubborn to beat. And I just think, for me personally, that's what I'd like to. I just, me personally, that's what I'd rather see. I'd rather see Ainsley Maitland-Niles there as right back. Now, there's always this long freaking debate. It just shows you lefties are treated in a different way, man. If I was talking about two right footers, right? If I was talking about David Luiz and Rob Holden, no one would even bat a fucking eyelid. Keep in mind they're both right footers. Yes, Luiz is far more capable of using his left foot as well, but they're both predominantly right footers, right? All week I've been seeing this bullshit about, oh, can two left footers be played together? I saw one podcast actually flat out say that it can't happen because of the way that Arsenal play football from the back. And I'm like, so why does that challenge differ with two right footers? It didn't make sense to me. I was just like, what? So anyway, I found that conversation really funny. But yeah, I think for me, this at the moment is our best centre back pairing. Just to show you that Chiv knows defenders, was I not the one that said that I liked Mari after Man City? I said I liked Mari, and then I repeated it to Lee again once he played. I think it was, I can't remember what game he played this season. I said, you know what? I think this guy will be good. I don't think he'll be like top notch, but I think he'll be a decent backup. And now I think people have all of a sudden realized that actually he'll be a very, very good backup. I like Murray. I think he's big, he's tall. He's not got a lot of pace, but I think that you lot are too. I don't know if there's such a thing as being as being. Can you be racist towards being a pace? I don't know, but yeah, there's too much bigotry towards having pace. I think there's a flying fuck. Yeah, I don't think either of them are particularly quick. Want me to be real? I don't think Gabriel. I think it's going to surprise people how slow Gabriel is. I mean, there's a reason that Gabriel attacks the ball where he attacks it. So he attacks the ball quite high up the pitch. Sometimes he drops off quite well. But I think he genuinely judges it very, very well, and that's because he doesn't have a lot of pace. So I think he's more capable though of playing on that right hand side of things. Whereas I think with Mari, because he's slower, I think you take less of a chance and you make sure that he plays on the left hand side. But I'd like to see them play together. I think they'll do very well. So yeah, I think that would be my centre back pairing. And then on the left hand side, oh gosh, you play the guy that Lee cannot stop swooning over, and that is Kieran Tierney. My only worry for Kieran is he's playing a lot of games at the moment. They played all extra time the week before. Then he's playing on Thursday. Presumably, he's going to play on Monday as well. At some point, we're going to need to look to give this kid a break. And you would assume that would be where Ainsley Maitland-Niles would probably switch over to the left-hand side to give Kieran Tierney a break. Because he's playing a lot of games at the moment. I'm very conscious of that. This is a guy that has historically, even at Celtic, had injuries. So that's the only thing that worries me a little bit about Kieran Tierney's situation, because he's playing so well at the moment. In the middle, I've gone with Partey and El Nene. I thought El Nene played all right, actually, against Newcastle. Thought he played okay, kept it very simple. I'll be honest with you, I'm never going to freely put Granit Xhaka in my team. Like, unless I can actually help it, I'm never gonna feel comfortable about it. I'm never freely gonna do it if I can help it. Plus, I think El Nene works best with Partey. I'm not sure Granit does. I'm not sure that Ceballos does. As far as I'm concerned, he can return back to Madrid now. I would not care less. Um, yeah, yeah. I've gone with these two. My only worry is I've got a feeling, and I know people ain't going to want to hear this, that he may miss tomorrow's game. I was watching the training sessions today. It looked like he was training by himself again. Him and Martinelli looked like they were training by themselves. Obviously, Martinelli's one was expected, but Partey's one, we were kind of like, well, surely he should be with the group. But I didn't. At least I didn't see him with the group. They showed it right at the beginning. Obviously, I watched all their training sessions when they put on the Arsenal channel, and then I saw him at the very beginning, and then they played a couple of. I think it looked like 8 asides they were playing, 6, 7, maybe 8 asides they were playing. I never saw Partey as any part of those, so don't be surprised if he misses tomorrow's game. He may be targeting Newcastle. Supposedly, Martinelli is targeting Newcastle. So keep that in mind. And then the top four. So I've gone with Emil Smith Rowe. Emil Smith Rowe, last couple of games, started to really impress me. You guys know I wasn't as gassed as some of you lot were about him. I'll be real, I wasn't. I wasn't as gassed. I thought he was playing good in spurts, but I didn't think he was particularly showing any sort of quality that I couldn't see before. But actually, he's done really, really well. He's adapting, he's learning. I don't think Arsenal are going to strengthen in this area this window because I think the players that they want. Um, I think in an ideal world, you'd have loved someone like Buendia. Buendia, Norwich aren't going to let him go for cheap. Nor should they. They're top of the championship. They need Buendia to push for that Premier League place. It totally makes sense as to why they'd want to hold on to him. Buendia supposedly really wants the Arsenal move, but he also doesn't want to disrespect Norwich. Again, I can completely understand those stances. Yes, before someone asked me, I have seen the I've forgotten the name of that Brighton player. Forgotten how to pronounce it. Basuma. I have seen that link. Like that link. Like that link as someone that might be a replacement for El Nene. I like that option. So yeah, I think we're gonna just have to soldier on. But I just don't see Arsenal doing anything really in the January window. And like I said, for me, I don't really care about incomings. My chopping block's getting warmed up. Gonna get warmed up this week. So you're gonna see who else I think needs to leave this freaking club. Including a famous prima donna number 10. I'm waiting for his punk ass to go. But I digress. Emil Smith Rowe, for me, absolutely fine. Keep going, kid. You've got plenty of energy. Let's keep going. Number 7, Saka, revelation on that right-hand side. And actually, for all the encouragement I give Pepe, it just shows you how special Saka is. Because Saka clearly has, and I love Pepe, but let's just call a fucking spade a spade here. Saka has clearly a level of understanding about how to play the position that Pepe doesn't. And that is, he's also left-footed. But what he's realised is, first of all, he clearly works on his right foot. Like he clearly works on running with his right foot, dribbling with his right foot. And then secondly, I think he does have the capability, genuinely, of going either way. He's clearly much more of a confident player in terms of his dribbling than Pepe is. So he doesn't always go for that tried and tested. You can go down the outside of you and do you dare. You can go down the inside of you, do you dare. You can cross with either foot. You can shoot with either foot. And I think he does have a really good footballing brain in terms of movement as well. Like it's fascinating. That's why for me, yeah. People keep saying to me, "How do I know Saka would be good?" There are just certain players that you can see that they read the game in a different way. Martinelli is another one of those players that you can see he reads the game in a different kind. It's not Martinelli is not just quick. Do you know what I mean? No one has ever sat there looking at Martinelli and says, "Oh, he's amazing because he's so quick." He understands the game at a different level, a different pace, just a different sort of understanding. That's why Saka on his worst day, and this is why I try and defend him and Mr. William ain't that bad. Your boy Lee Gunner, right? Saka on his worst day will produce that cross or that little something something that Pepe or Willian or none of these other motherfuckers can. On his worst day. And it's the same thing with Martinelli. Those are the sort of players that you just keep on the pitch. You keep them on the pitch because they are capable of creating that something something. Let's just take a swig of a brandy and coke. 1 second. So yeah, I think for me, I think you put Saka on that right hand side. Now this one I debated with. I'll be real with you. Like I say, Martinelli ain't gonna make it for this game. I was tempted to drop Aubameyang, I must admit, but I've gone with him reluctantly. But I've gone with him in the hope that the goal has inspired him to do something. He reckons that he's going to turn it around. He knows that he's not been good this season, particularly since he signed his deal. He feels he could turn it around. He's determined to turn it around. So let's just see. Listen, everyone is capable of a bad period or bad patch of form. I'm not going to kill him if I'm in a bad patch of form. And, provided he comes back and kills it, then let's just do it. We need him. Whether you want to curse his name or not, for those of you who are wondering and hoping that Balogun would stay, looks like Balogun is more or less off to RB Leipzig. From a Nigeria perspective, I'm happy for him. I think that's an excellent move to go to Germany and, ply his trade. You're going to get chances out there in Germany. If Arsenal are on point, they keep tabs on him, they bring him back home 3-4 years' time. That's all you can hope for. Let him go out there and learn his trade and continue developing. For me, I'm certain he'll make it. So I'm not too worried. It's a shame because on the flip side of that, we've kept Eddie Nketiah, rejected Wolves' advances for him. What could he do? It is what it is. And then Lacazette up top. Lacazette, a player who personally I'd sell in the summer. Arsenal are being linked with a cut price move for Eduardo for 25 million. I've always seen Eduardo as a Lacazette replacement. So to me, I think that makes all the sense in the world. Yeah, I like Lacazette. He's in great form, but he's also getting older. And I think, if you can get 25 million for him, I say take that. take that, use that money for Eduardo. So it is what it is. So yeah, I think that's the team that I play for Palace. Strong team, very similar to what we've already seen. Trying to counter the Zaha threat in this. I think with that in mind, what would my score prediction be? I'm going to go 2-1. I think it'll be very, very tight. Wouldn't even surprise me if Palace scored first, to be honest. But I expect us to win. I expect us to win. I expect us to get over the line, get 3 points, and push for fourth place. Nah. Listen, for me, I'm not putting a target on it. I just want us to get 3 points every week. I don't care where it ends up. Just get 3 points every week. Every week, ask the question come the end of the year. You know, that would be what I would hope that we would look to do. What do you guys think? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Drill that like button, especially because you want me to keep doing these previews. That's the only way I'll know that you enjoy the previews. So if you want me to keep doing these previews, drill that like button for me. Hit the subscribe button. I'll be back tomorrow to do my review and player ratings with Mr. Gunner. I'll be back possibly on Friday to do a show. And if I don't do that show on Friday, I will do it on Sunday. I'll also, by the way, for the MMA and boxing guys, the return of the combat show is this Friday. The return after what was it? Our Christmas hiatus was what? 3 weeks, 4 weeks? The return of the combat show is on Friday, so make sure you don't miss that. All right, I'm out of here, guys. Please do take care, and I will be back. And also, because I just realized somebody left me a donation. You thought I was going to miss it. No, I wasn't. Happy belated birthday, my bro. I finally catch you live. I back your lineup. Could cause a madness. Balance the Saka place with AC Milan Niles on the right. Patient for 3 years, and I hope he could shine through. Hashtag protect the youth. Thank you, my guy. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Very generous donation. Bless you, brother. And I'm out of here. Take care. Enjoy your night. And I will see you tomorrow. Peace.